Good morning, YouTube. Oh, it's been a long time, hasn't it? I do apologise, but life has happened. It has been a very hectic, crazy, busy few months, and to be fair, not a lot's happened that I've potentially really wanted to document. I've kind of just been floating. Not a lot has changed drastically from a bodybuilding stance. Not my training's just been the same old. I've not been working towards anything. I've not really, up until kind of now, had any sort of massive changes or updates with my hormone situation, but I'm going to update you on that today. So that is going to be today's video. I'm going to do a bit of a full day of eating, day in the life, and update on my hormones. So sit back, relax. I'm going to get on with some morning work. I'm just going to sip on my Hydromax this morning. I'm not going to eat yet. I'm going to do some work first, and then I will take you through my meals when I eat them as well. Well, that's a great stint of morning work now. Finito for this morning. So I apologise, that intro was really rushed as well. As I was recording it, the battery was flashing. I was like, damn it. But we're now going to eat meal one. It is 8:30. I'm not that hungry. Well, I am. Yeah, I'm hungry enough. So my meal one is pretty much the same on a training or a rest day. So at the moment, I'm going to talk about this later, but my calories are actually the same on a training and a rest day. My macros are exactly the same. So this meal stays the same, and it probably has been the same, to be fair, for the last fair few weeks, months. So it is just my eggs, my bacon, my mushrooms, and my spinach. I'm not going to show you how I make it because it's mushrooms and bacon medallions in an air fryer, and eggs in a frying pan, and then spinach from the bag onto the plate. But I will show you the finished product just to prove that it's there, as long as it looks somewhat presentable. And then I will crack on finishing up my morning check-ins and just crack on with the rest of my day. Well, that was an epic fail. I tried to make it look really presentable, and then this egg just decided that, yeah, it wanted to split. But that's meal one. Yes, I've got a lot of spinach there, but dieting, so satiety, so bacon medallions, mushrooms, spinach, and eggs. So I'm going to eat this now and then crack on with more work for this morning. So whilst I'm just sipping on my extremely oversized, but extremely necessary caffeinated beverage, I thought I would give you a little bit of a rundown of what I'm doing today. Because I think people, when they just think of, oh my god, I've just realised I've spilt on my top as well. Such a child, such a professional, but you know what, I'm keeping it in because I'm keeping it real. I am not one of these ride-away Gymshark influencer people who looks amazing and banging all the time. I wear sweaty, I can't speak. I wear baggy clothing and I spill coffee on myself, and this is who I am. But what I do in a day, what do I do? Because I think like, all you do is some check-ins and post about your check-ins and go to the gym. There's so much more that goes into it that people think, because we are when you work for yourself, you are everything for yourself until you are at that point where you can pay for other people to do the bits for you. So what I do every single morning is I look at my to-do list and I actually write myself up a schedule and timetable for the day. The same way you would if you went into an employed job and your boss was like, you have this and this meeting. So basically I wrote down that between 7:30 and 8:30 I was doing my check-ins. I was going to eat at 8:30, and then about 8:30 to about 10 I'm going to finish up any check-ins I've got to do, catch up with any clients. So what I do is I've got spreadsheets for all of my clients, basically what days they're checking in, anything that I need to catch up with them on throughout the week, and I basically have what I call their roadmap, so where they're at in their journey, what they want to work towards, because I'm so passionate about getting my clients results. Like, I genuinely give a shit. I think this is what's missing from the industry, is actually caring. I care so much about every single one of my clients' progress, so I just keep tabs on everything. I've got spreadsheets and data on them and everything. So if anyone I've got to catch up with today, anything that I need to do with them, you know, check how they're getting on with their macros. If they've needed to talk to me about something, I will make sure I've done that. Then I just need to check all my social media, because I can just see there's already a massive backlog on my Instagram messages. So catch up on those. And then at 10 o'clock, I will be jumping on to a webinar. Then I'm going to eat my meal too. Then I'm going to go do some errands. Then I will, by 2 o'clock, I'm on another business mentoring thing. I don't actually know what it is. I think it's like a workshop sort of thing for 2 hours. Then I'll have meal 3. Then I'm going to go through my to-do list for client work. So I've got some programs and bits and bobs to do. And then meal 4, and then I will probably just chill out for the evening. So that is how my day looks. If I don't write these schedules, I don't get stuff done. Usually on a Friday, I have things factored in the evening, like consults and clients, or I typically do actually train, but I've got more time, which means I can do more things which I need to do. But my day is still going to fly. I mean, it's already 9:30, and I feel like I've not done anything. I have, but do you know what I mean? So I'm going to crack on with my day. I will show you meal 2 when I have that. Show you some of the things that I'm doing on my errands, because it is actually linked to my hormones, and then I'm going to get into the chat about where I'm at with my periods, with my hormones, and answer some of your questions from Instagram. So I'm going to get on, get caffeinated, and I'll see you at meal 2. Just thought I'd show you a bit of a snack that I'm having whilst I'm doing, well, I'm on a webinar. I've not actually had this one yet. It's blueberry muffin flavour. And yes, we're kind of reaching that point where hunger is a little bit higher. So I'm going to have this. Just thought I'd show you that. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Yeah, 7. 7. So this is my second meal. So like I said, it was beef mince. That was my protein. Green beans, potatoes and avocado. It doesn't actually look that cooked in this lighting, but I promise you it's all cooked. And then potatoes are actually, believe it or not, air fried and crispy. They just don't look it in this lighting. But this is probably one of my favourite savoury meals. I just love the combo of beef mince, potato and avocado. It's just a winner. So this is this, and I'm going to go do my errands. Oh, I feel like I was on World's Strongest Man, well, World's Strongest Woman, doing this, representing, because a lot of Team Titan are strong women. I'm basically you guys now, because it's like 4 kilos, it's not exactly heavy. This is the worst thing about living in an apartment, is that you've got to walk from the car park to your flat, which is good for steps, but terrible when you've got a load of shopping. But I thought, shall I show you what I've got? Do people actually like these parts of the video? I don't know. Sometimes I do watch them, and sometimes I skip past them, but I'm going to show you. If you want to skip past it, feel free. If you want to see what I've bought, then yeah. Spinach, have that in a load of my meals. Beef mince and chicken, 2 of the main sources of protein that just realised I've totally forgotten to get eggs. It's not the end of the world. I can get some later, but damn it. Love that when you forget what you've got after you've already got home. So yeah, chicken and beef mince, 5%. These are 2 of like the main protein sources that I use. Aldi's knockoff reduced sugar and salt ketchup, 54p though, you can't go wrong. To be fair, it doesn't taste that bad. Some butter fry light, because I've got the coconut oil one at the moment, and on certain foods it just gives it a weird flavour, like when you use it with eggs, and when I've been using it on my baked toast, it's not my vibe. So the butter one, that's going in. Courgette, avocado, healthy fats that I have every day. Courgette, green veg, health, and it's quite voluminous, the amount that you get, so it's quite good when I'm dieting. Frozen blueberries, normal blueberries I'm in, frozen blueberries with a pre-fed bowl. A Mahou sieve, look at the size of that, it's like the size of my head. That'll make a wicked thumbnail, that. Maybe like an Instagram post, I don't know. I don't know who I am. Who I am, I have these glasses on. Like something from Beatles or some shit. And this is what's caused this to be heavy, some Maris Piper potatoes. Now these are the best potatoes to make like them fluffy and like chips. So if you want some good potatoes, get old Maris Piper. And then I just got some multibacterial surface wipes to cut through grease and tough on germs and clean. So yeah, that's my little food shop if you give a shit. I'm going to sit down now and talk to you about hormones before I have to be on a webinar in about half an hour. So yeah, let's have a coffee. Do I even want a coffee? Let's just have a chat. Let's not do coffee because I'm going to have a rain while I'm doing my... I feel like a sofa is a very good place to have a bit of a sit down conversation. I feel like I'm on some sort of talk show, you know, and they go and sit on the sofa and then talk about their life. Well, this is mine. So, catch up. Where the hell am I at? Why have I not been on YouTube? What the hell is going on with my hormones? So, the last thing I really sort of massively spoke about on YouTube was when I decided to go all in. So, for a bit of context, please do go watch that video back because that explains the full ins and outs and kind of the bit of the past history as to what happened with my hormones. But at that point, basically, I hadn't had my period. I've been trying to get it back. I've been told that my hormones were super low. Probably told that I was suffering with hypothalamic amenorrhea. So I decided to go all in, which is basically I stopped tracking and just ate a lot of food. I brought my training down to like 3 days a week, not a lot of cardio, wasn't tracking steps, and that was what I decided to do to get my periods back. I'm not going to talk about HA or anything on this video because I did in the other videos, so don't go give those a watch. I will link those below as well so you can find, you know, you don't have to go find them, the contact is there. So since then, what's happened? So I have actually regained my period. I'm not sure if I talked about this on here or not, but I have actually had 2 periods. The first one I had in June, and that was all right. Just pretty standard, mild symptoms, nothing bad at all. The second one I had was in the back end of July, and that was crazy. Honestly, I've never felt so ill in my entire life. I genuinely thought I had like a severe food poisoning. Even contemplated thinking, do I have COVID again? I was out of action. I couldn't work for at least 2 days, which for me, you know, I will get up and do my work. My clients mean so much to me, as I mentioned earlier in the video. My work means so much to me. I couldn't do anything. I didn't even have the energy to like watch TV. I know that sounds crazy, but that is how wiped out I was. I could hardly eat for days afterwards. It was crazy, but very unwell with it, and it was all down to coming on my period again. And during that time as well, during June, what I decided was I wasn't going to go all in anymore. Literally about 3-4 days before my period started, I had a mental breakdown because of the whole process, because I detached myself from bodybuilding, because I'd gained a lot of weight. I don't know how much it was, but obviously they did weigh me at one point in the hospital. I know I gained weight since that point, so I must have gained something crazy from when I first started back earlier this year, something like 20-30 pounds, something like that, at least 20, at least, which is a lot. And bearing in mind when I started the process back in February, I was kind of in like a bit of a tidy up phase anyway, because I wasn't comfortable in my body at that point as it was, because of where I was at with bodybuilding. So I was like kind of peak off season weight. So my highest weight in off season was sort of like the 135 mark, and I don't know exactly, but I know I got up to at least 155, 160 at least, potentially more, I don't know, with this all-in journey. So you can see that being 30 pounds, 20-30 pounds above, already being slightly uncomfortable, I was really struggling. Like nothing was fitting me. I already bought bigger size clothes just to feel comfortable, and they were starting to feel tight. I was seeing my reflection in the mirror in the gym, and I just couldn't even bear looking at it. I was actually declining plans. You know, people, as the world was starting to reopen, people were inviting me places to go and you know, hang out and socialize, and I was like, no, I'm busy. And I wasn't busy, I just didn't want to see anyone because of the way that I looked. That's genuinely how unhappy I was. So I just had a bit of a breakdown, called Vicky, who's my coach, and just said, I can't do this anymore. I don't know what to do, because I don't want to sacrifice my health, but I can't do this anymore. Like this is too much. Surely there's got to be another way. And she was like, right, okay, so what we need to do is obviously make sure that you are still keeping within, you know, decent realms, but we can have a bit of a dieting phase, but we need to monitor your health and obviously make sure that, you know, we're not detrimenting anything. So we started a very, very small deficit, nothing extreme at all, and then period 1 came. I said, should we carry on? And we said, well, yeah, you know, let's just see what happens. So we carried on with the deficit, again, nothing too extreme. My body responded okay in the first instance. Probably most of it was kind of like inflammation because I worked out. I didn't track, but when I wasn't tracking, I was probably eating something crazy like 3,500 calories a day, something mad like that, 3,000, 3,500, which is way more than I needed to. But I just totally let go and I kind of ate so much because I thought that it was the right thing to do and that I had to. But in hindsight, I didn't need to eat that much at all. I probably should have just been, you know, started to just become in tune with my hunger and maybe actually tracked and just built it up from like the 2,300s that I was at to maybe, you know, just a bit higher, I don't know, but gained a lot of weight. So we started to lose weight. Now I dropped a significant amount of weight when I was poorly, because I started to weigh myself again at that point, which is again as to why I'm not 100% sure how much I did gain, because I stopped weighing myself. I started to do that again, and literally the week that I was poorly because I couldn't eat and what have you with the second period, I must have dropped like 4 or 5 pounds, something like that. Again, it's probably all water and inflammation, but that came off, and then that sort of stayed off, and nothing's really changed since then from a weight perspective. We have actually gone into a bit more of an aggressive cut because I am still feeling very uncomfortable in my body. Where I'm sitting now from a weight perspective, I'm now probably about 10, just under 10 pounds above that peak weight where I'm comfortable. So I've not got far to go to get back to where I want to be, but my goals within bodybuilding are to compete. I still want to compete in bodybuilding, so I need to get to a place where my body composition is good to push food back up and get strong. But I need to be in a body composition to do that, so I'm going to have to pull off probably like another 10-15 pounds. The issue is my body right now is just not responding to dieting. Whether that is linked to, we've had a look at my bloods, that my thyroid is on the lower side, so if it's linked to that, or if it's linked to my estrogen, which I'm going to come on to in a second.
So that's where I'm at with that, which is why I've been talking about the fact I'm on a meal plan on lower carbs and what have you, because we are on a, currently what I'm doing is running 5 low days consecutively, then 1 higher day. I'm on my low days, and it doesn't matter if it's a training or rest day, it's still the same macros. So to be fair, it's actually a lot easier on a rest day, which is today, because I can spread my carbs out, whereas on a training day, I use them pretty much pre and post workout, meaning that my other 3 meals are pretty much 0 carb, so it's a bit bleh. But you know what it is, I really want to just feel more comfortable in myself and then be in a prime position to grow and build. Now, in terms of growing and building, one of the main things that you need to grow and build from a hormonal perspective that people don't realize is estrogen. People just think purely about testosterone, but you actually need estrogen. And after that second period, obviously I logged it. I used an app just to track my symptoms and how long it was. It was quite a long distance between the first 2. It was like 40 something days. So when it got to that 40 something days mark again, I was a little bit concerned. I was like, why is nothing happening? We sort of weighed it out, 50, 60, so it went way beyond that time frame. I was like, so why have I not had a period? And on reflection, I did notice that some of the symptoms, which I'm going to come on to in a second, of low estrogen that I had previously had started to come back. And so I got some blood tests done just to see, and it turns out now that my estrogen is actually the lowest it's ever been from any blood test. Whether that is going back into a bit of a deficit or what have you, I don't know, but obviously it's frustrating because of the process that I put myself through this year to get my hormones back, and now it's like the worst it's ever been. So that did really upset me and get to me last week, I'm not gonna lie, because I was like, I've worked so hard, I've put myself through so much emotionally, I've sacrificed one of my biggest passions, and nothing's changed, you know? I'm still low estrogen. And it's been a very tough decision to know what to do about it, because I can't keep staying with low estrogen. Low estrogen has so many negative detrimental health effects, like obviously the bone density issue that I already do have. I can't make that any worse. And if I do want to build and grow in bodybuilding, I need estrogen in me, and just to overall feel good. Now, so I'm going to come on to a little bit now as to the symptoms and side effects of living with low estrogen, if that's what you want to call it. So I've lived with low estrogen for a long time, and I don't know how long, because of the fact that I was on a contraceptive pill for a bit of time, and I only got blood tests done at certain points, but I've been living with low estrogen for a good few years at least, and it's one of those things where I've not had any symptoms that are like blatantly obvious, where I've like headaches or cramps or anything where it's like an obvious thing, but when you look back on reflection, things make total sense as to why they've happened. And having a period of time earlier this year, pardon the pun, this year, where my estrogen levels were a bit elevated, whether it was naturally or through the contraceptive that I went on for a short time frame when I first got seen, I felt so much better. I felt like I had a bit of a spark. I felt so much more positive and optimistic about the future. I had a sex drive. I was interested in men. And I just felt overall more positive, more energized, more disciplined, more focused, more driven for everything, for work, training, just life. And now that that's dipped again, I've noticed the impact it's had. So I just want to talk about what it's been like living with low estrogen and what it's like, because people don't realize the impact that hormones can actually have on you from so many perspectives. Now, everyone knows about, you know, our hormones, and you get a bit moody and what have you, but estrogen is linked to many neurochemicals and transmitters in your brain, such as dopamine, serotonin, which are your happy chemicals. So without estrogen, they don't get produced as much. So I've definitely noticed it in my mood over the last sort of few weeks. My anxiety has been horrific. I at first thought it was to do with traveling, because I've been away for 3 weekends in a row, been taken out of my comfort zone. So I thought that me doing that was because I'm very much I like my routine, I like my structure, I like this, that and the other. Going away, I always get a little bit anxious. So I thought maybe it's that's exacerbated my anxiety. But looking back, just throughout the weeks, my anxiety's been horrendous. Small things have thrown me off. I've been really on edge, overthinking, stressing, worrying for no reasons. I even nearly cancelled one of the trips away. I remember messaging and being like, look, I don't know if I can come. I don't know if I can be around people this weekend. That's how bad it is. So I've had that. Anxiety's gone through the roof. Mood hasn't been horrendous, but I've found that I've had to make so much effort with my my daily practices in order to keep my mood elevated. I don't wake up and feel as driven and motivated. I've got to make sure that I do journal and I do meditate and I do things like that every single day, and it's got to be really effortful, and I've got to make time for it, and if I don't, it slips. I notice when I don't, and I will include that in my daily routine anyway, but when I don't, God, I feel it so much. Just general mood and motivation, and it's just mad, honestly, the impact it has. I've got no sex drive, not that that's a massive issue, because right now I don't have time for a boyfriend or anything, but you know what, sometimes it does bother me that I'm 23 and I've never found anyone, and I just don't have any drive to do it, and you know, right now it's not my priority, but one day I would love a family. I'd love to take my kid to Disneyland and, you know, do the whole cheesy family Disneyland selfies. I'm getting emotional now, for Christ's sake. I said I wouldn't get emotional, but here I am, getting emotional. You know, I want that, and right now I just don't have any sort of drive to do that. And yeah, I'm just sick of that, you know, I'm sick of not having that. Not that I want to go out and just, you know, bang everyone, but I just want to be able to be normal. I want to have that opportunity. I want to feel good. I don't want to have to feel like I have to force myself just to feel okay. You know, I want to be happy. I don't want to have to force myself to be happy anymore. And obviously, ultimately, I do want to compete in bodybuilding. It's such a passion of mine. And I'm getting to a point where my body's not responding to dieting. I'm not building anything because I'm not in a surplus, even though I'm training so freaking hard. My body just doesn't change because I don't have the estrogen. And it's really, really frustrating seeing other people, and this is not me like slamming other people, but they don't work as hard as I do, and they change so much, they build a muscle that I'm working so hard to build, and my body just doesn't respond. So I've decided to go on to a contraceptive pill for now. A very, very low dose. The one I went on in the first instance was very, very strong. This one's a very, very low dose one. And so hopefully it shouldn't be too harsh on my symptoms. If you remember a few videos ago back in April when I went, I wasn't actually crying on the camera because I was just so emotional and it was horrible. So I'm going to see how this goes, because ultimately I need to get estrogen in me from a health perspective, like my bone density, but I just want to live. I just want to feel normal. I have felt normal and I want to be normal again. And I've not really spoken about this to anyone. I'm not really, you know, because I've just dealt with it, you know. I just thought, well, this is who I am, but it all makes sense now. And having that glimmer of hope, so to speak, of what it feels like to just feel normal mentally earlier this year, I've decided that I'm just ready to feel that now. And yes, maybe I have got my own thoughts and feelings about the contraceptive pill, but ultimately right now I need to not even see it as that, but see it as a hormone replacement for me, because I don't have any and I need them. Because I just want a life. I just want a life where I don't have to force myself to feel positive. And this is the thing, you know, on Instagram people are, oh, you're always so positive, you're such a ray of sunshine, I love it. And I want to bring that to people's lives, but it's so forced now, and that's me being honest. It's forced, and I don't want it to be forced, you know. I want to be happy all the time. I want to be the happy Disney Lucy all the time. I didn't think I was going to get emotional in this video. This was going to be me just laying down the facts, but here it is. I feel like I needed to get this off my chest, and what better way to do it than for YouTube? Oh Christ, but that's where I'm at with my hormones. So right now I'm going to come back on YouTube, do some more documentation of how I get on with my recovery, how I get on with my hormones, what have you. And yeah, I actually am just going to finish up quickly on some questions that you guys have from Instagram. So I'm just going to... Meal 3 coming really late. I mean, I normally be eating my meal 3 around 3 o'clock. It's now pretty much 5. I've got some chicken, mushrooms, green beans, lettuce, and some rice cakes. Normally I'd have potato with this, but I didn't have time or effort to make potato. Yes, so we need the poo plate. Pretty cool, right? Vicky actually got me that for my birthday. Fun fact. And yeah, I know this looks trash, but I'm hungry and I didn't have time to make it look presentable. And yes, I like raw mushrooms. Just touched that and I'm about to eat it, but it's fine, I've washed my hands. But yeah, that is meal 3, and then I will have a meal 4 pretty soon, I guess.
Oh, so that's meal 3 done. I've now got 2 meals to go. What I'm actually going to do is I'm not actually going to sit and film me making them and eating them. They're not my usual meals because I haven't actually been able to stick to my meal plan today. I don't even know why I write my myself a meal plan because I hardly ever stick to it and then just cause myself more problems. Just because of how busy I was, I didn't make the potato. I tracked something wrong earlier. I was meant to have 1 less egg so my fats are off, and yeah. I'm not going to bore you with it, but so basically my next meals are going to be a cream of rice meal because I've underdone my carbs. What a shame. More cream of rice, tragic. And my pre-bed bowl. So I'm going to overlay some footage of them. Might have already done it just so you can actually see what I've eaten and prove it. But I'm actually going to have a little bit of a chiller night. I've not had a chiller night in ages. I normally work till quite late on a Friday, but I've got a busy day tomorrow and I've got a busy week ahead. Next week is already looking pretty manic. Shaping up to be pretty manic, so I'm just going to actually chill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick on a film and I'm just going to read my new book, which is, again, it's a bit of a businessy book, so is it really chilling out? It's called How to Write Copy That Sells, so it's just about improving my writing skills, really, customer psychology and all that jazz. So yeah, love a bit of self-development. So I'm just going to chill tonight, so I don't really want to like worry about filming, and I'm probably just going to make myself look like a potato and just chill out. But thank you for watching. As always, any content you want to see, please let me know. If you haven't already, give the video a like, share, subscribe, just so I know that people actually care and watch. And I'll see you on another video.